This segment is sponsored by Logan Agri-Service. We have Ed Logan in today for our Tri-State Farm Update segment. And when you talk about cover crops and terminating cover crops, it means spring is on the way. So what does that all mean? What do we have to do?
Well, last fall, of course, Melissa, we had a lot of producers that planted cover crops. So cover crops, we're talking about radishes, turnips, ryegrass, oats. All of those things were planted last fall to provide cover for the soils, for erosion, tillage in no-till situations, that sort of thing. Now it's time to think about getting those cover crops terminated before we plant corn and soybeans for 2020. And so when we talk about terminating cover crops, we're talking about killing those cover crops, and we typically will do that with herbicides.
Are they not already dead?
Well, now some of those are dead. So if we take the case of radishes, for instance, radishes, the top growth will die back over the winter time. We've talked about some of these odors that are emanating from some of these fields where the cover crops have been planted. That's the rot of this dieback of the top growth. Turnips, on the other hand, will do the same thing as radishes. The top growth will die back, but we don't have the odor associated as we do with radishes. So we have some recommendations here going forward as we need to get these cover crops terminated. The first thing that we need to do is get this done as quickly as possible. Planting, this is the 11th day of March. Plantings may occur in 3 weeks or 4 weeks at the most. And so we need to get these cover crops terminated at least 1 to 2 weeks before we begin thinking about planting corn and soybeans for the coming year. So as we go out to the field to spray, I'd like to see them spray in sunny weather conditions. I'd like to see the temperature in that 60-degree range. At that temperature, the herbicides that we apply will translocate through the plant down into the roots and get a more effective kill in those warmer weather conditions. We need to use full labeled rates of our herbicides and our spray adjuvants. We need to know what crop that we're after. As an example, annual ryegrass requires a higher rate of herbicide to kill it as opposed to cereal ryegrass. In general, I don't want to see residual herbicides applied in this tank mixture, nor do I want to see liquid nitrogen. There is antagonism associated with some of that, and we need to get full control with the herbicides that we apply. And finally, check the labels of the herbicides you're going to apply. Some of these products will have some planting restrictions, maybe days, maybe a couple of weeks before you can plant your corn and soybeans. So check those labels as you go out to spray.
And that's so important because you don't want to plant seeds into the ground where they won't be growing.
Exactly right.
Well, this again is the Tri-State Farm Update with Logan Agri-Service. We'll be right back with more KHQA This Morning coming up.